Okay, let's talk about this movie here. When Love Prays. Now, this movie you're seeing is a movie that where you have two people, a young man and a young woman. They decided to get married. The young man was the son of an imam, a Muslim. The young lady was the daughter of a pastor, a Christian. They decided to come together and get married. But the families, both families were against them getting married. The Muslim family, the imam was like, no, never, never over my dead body will my son go marry a Christian. The pastor of the father of the daughter of the lady, even the mom, vehemently opposed the marriage as well. Why would a pastor's daughter go and marry the son of an imam? And all of that, Kula Balu went on. At the end of the day, they went against their families. They went against their parents' desires, and they went on to get married. Now, this movie has garnered, I think the last time I checked, about 6.8 million views on YouTube. You can go and look at it yourself. A very interesting movie, I must tell you. It's very, very fantastic movie. I don't have anything against the movie. You can clearly see someone even rated the movie 7/10. And if I were to rate the movie myself, probably I would even go high, a little bit higher, and say maybe 8.5, over 10. That's how high I would even rate the movie. Very interesting movie. And a lot of negative reviews have equally come. A lot of people have castigated, the message that they felt like, or they feel that the movie portrayed, saying that it was okay for a Christian to go get married to a Muslim, or for a Muslim to go get married to a Christian. Now, a lot of people are against that interreligious marriage. And as a Christian, for those who are against a Christian getting married to a Muslim, I understand why. And I'm fully in support of those people. 100 and, in fact, 1000% fully in support of those people who are against the narrative that this movie portrayed, that it was okay for a Christian to go get married to a Muslim. Now, why am I saying that? There are so many scriptures, there are numerous scriptures, that warned us as Christians, not to toe that path. There are numerous scriptures. 1 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 39. The Bible clearly stated that a woman is bound to her husband as long as the husband is still alive. But if the husband dies and she decides to marry another person, she's free to marry another person that she desires. She's very, very free. That's what that scripture says. But whoever she decides to marry must belong to the Lord. Whoever she decides to marry must be a Christian. That's what that scripture clearly states there. That's what the scripture clearly stated. You understand? So that's one warning right there. If you go further to 2 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 14 and 15, the Bible clearly stated it clearly there. The Bible said, be ye unequally yoked together with unbelievers. For what fellowship had righteousness with unrighteousness? And what business had light with darkness? That's what the Bible clearly stated right there. What concord? That's what the Bible said, the language, that what concord had Christ with Belial? What business? What was binding Christ and Belial together? So clearly the scripture is against interreligious marriage. There's just no two ways about it. The scripture, there are numerous scriptures to it that you can go on and read. Deuteronomy chapter 7. Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 3. I think 3 to 4. But you can even read from verse 1. From verse 1, so that you can have a clear context, because right there in the scripture, in that Deuteronomy chapter 7, the Bible, the God was speaking to the Israelites, and he told them that I'm going to deliver, after I have delivered the Canaanites, the Hittites, the Amorites, I've delivered them to your hands. You can do whatever you please. You can smite them, you can kill them, you can whatever you want to do. But he now said, neither shall thou make marriages with them. That was this clear warning that God gave to them. Whatever you want to do to them, do to them. Neither, do not, thou, do not make marriages with them. Thy daughter shall not give unto his son, nor his daughter shall that take unto thy son. The Bible, that's what the Bible clearly stated in that scripture. If you go read it, I'm just trying to paraphrase here. The the reason why the scripture said that, if you read that chapter very well, or that passage of the scripture, God said, the reason why I'm saying this is that, for they will turn away thy son from me. They will turn away thy son from me. If, as a Christian young man, you go to marry a female who is a Muslim, she's going to turn you away from God. You're going to turn your son away from following me. I think that's what the Bible said right there. You're going to turn your son away from following me. Look, go and read that scripture. It's clearly stated there. They're going to turn your son away from following me, that they may serve other gods. That's what the Bible stated. That's what the Bible clearly said right there. Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 3 and verse 4. Go and read everything. You know, there are so many other scriptures that the Bible warned us against as Christians not to go. Joshua 23, verse 11 as well is there. I think verse 11 to 15 or I think it's verse 11 to 13 or thereabout. Go and read that scripture. It's equally stated right there. It's equally stated right there. So there are numerous scriptures, there are numerous passages of the Bible that vehemently opposes against, marrying from a different religion that is out of Christianity. Out of Christianity. Malachi 2:11 equally stated. Is another warning is there. Ezra chapter 9 and even chapter 10. Ezra chapter 9 to chapter 10. Read those two chapters. I think the children of Israel were being repentant. They were now being repentant from marrying from other religion, from other tribes or something. Ezra 9:10. You read that scripture very well. You get a clearer understanding. So there are numerous scriptures, like I've said, and then I equally know that in the Muslim side, their book, the Quran, there's equally boundaries set there. There's equally boundaries that the Quran has set for Muslims. That you should not cross this boundary to go and marry from, other. I know that I've not read the Quran before. I've not read a single word in the Quran before, but I know that I think from research, from what I've heard, I know they equally have their own stuff. So why should I now disobey what my own God have told me, and then I will not go and follow what your God, does that make sense? It makes no sense. I'm not a pastor. I'm not preaching here, but I'm just saying that I vehemently oppose just the way God vehemently opposes we as Christians to go outside of our faith, to go marry from another tribe. Now, that's one message that a lot of people are getting from this movie. And but for me, I got a different message of unity, a different message of oneness, a different message of togetherness. That's the message that I got from this movie. Because towards the end of the movie, I think a child was sick. They came together, Christians, Muslims, held hands together. They prayed, and that child was recovered. And it told me one thing, that as human beings, be you a Christian, be you a Muslim, be you a pagan, we can come together, coexist. We can unite together for a common good. We can unite together for a common purpose, to fight a common goal, to fight a common enemy. We can unite together and do that and achieve that, together, but not when it comes to marriage. And you might want to say, what are you talking about? Why are you saying all of that? It's clearly written, and I've told you, read scriptures for you, quoted scriptures for you. Why? It shouldn't happen. Another way, or another reason why I would equally want to tell you that, yes, it's possible for us to coexist and do other things together, but not marriage. Now, I've been to school. I'm educated. I've been to different levels of education. I've been privileged to share the same classroom with Muslims. I've been privileged to enter the same public vehicles, public bus, even airplanes with Muslims. I've been privileged to do business, to buy and sell with or to Muslims. I've been privileged to work. Some of my colleagues are Muslims. But you know the difference? After I have done all these things with them, we all go our separate ways. We all part ways. Everyone to his own tent, to your tent, O Israel. This one goes to his house, this one goes to his house. Everybody goes away. Understand? But when it comes to marriage, we don't have such leverage. We don't have such liberty. Marriage is for better, for worse. It is a forever thing. There's no time frame to marry. There's an institution where you don't graduate from. It's an institution where you don't graduate. It's an institution where you get a certificate even before you start the journey. After you once you get him, they give you a certificate. Okay, take, but you don't graduate from it. You understand? I have not seen a sane human being that will say, okay, I'm going to get married, but my marriage is going to be for only 2 years, or my marriage is going to be for only 3 years. I've not seen a sane human being that would say that okay, you know what? You can decide and say, okay, I'm going to go to school. I'm going to go to school for 4 years. After 4 years, I'm done. After 6 years, I'm done. I'm doing this business. Okay, in the 10th year, man, I'll just sell this business off. I'm going to buy this house. I'm going to buy this property and have it. I'm going to use this car for 3 years and I'm done with it. You can put time frames on things like that. Oh, I'm going on this flight. I'm going to be with this person on this flight for 10 hours. And after that 10 hours, man, it's done. We're done with it. But you cannot put a time frame on marriage. You cannot do that. It's for better, for worse. Once you go in, you are in for it. You're in for the Bible, like I quoted for you. The Bible clearly stated it that unless the person dies in 1 Corinthians that I quoted for you, the Bible clearly stated it there. Unless the person you marry as a woman or as a man, unless the man dies, then the woman can now say, okay, you want to go and remarry. 1 Corinthians chapter 7, right there. The Bible clearly stated in verse 39 that a woman is free to remarry. Yes, you are free to remarry. You are bound to your husband as long as he lives. That's what the Bible said. Are you bound to your schoolmates once you finish school? I want you to go to your house. So that's why I said we can come together, unite for a common good, to achieve common goals, fight. We can fight corruption, fight all these evil leaders, politicians. We can come together and do all those things together, politicking and all of that, But that's where it stops. That's where it ends. After that, everyone goes to their respective homes. For me, that's the message I got from this movie. A very interesting movie, I must tell you. You do yourself a huge favor. Go watch it. Go see it yourself. I'm not here to promote the movie, but I'm just here to talk about, what the storylines that the movie portrayed. And for me, unity of purpose, togetherness, and all of that are the messages, or the message that I got from this movie. If you got the message of interreligious marriage, well, then, yeah, you can equally say that, but for me, I strongly oppose interreligious marriage, between Christians and Muslims. Do I have Muslim friends? Yes, I have numerous Muslim friends, Muslim friends. They know me. They know me where I stand. Like, we can rapport together. We can do things together. But when it comes to marriage, it's not how you want fame rich. It's not how you want get money rich. There's no how. There's no how. Me, I would sit down now and see my son go and bring a Muslim woman, or my daughter go and bring a Muslim man. No, it's not happening. My father has 8 children. We're all married. None of us went out of the Christian faith to get married to a Muslim. My father did not marry a Muslim woman. My mother did not marry a Muslim man. My grandfather, my grandparents from both sides did not marry a Muslim. So why would I now go and tell? It makes no sense. So for me, I'm going to leave it here and rest my case. It's an interesting movie. Go watch it, and you get your own lessons from it, your own interpretation. And as far as I'm concerned, I'll rest my case and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.